Welcome to the challenge round. Here's the breakdown. The first competitor, standing 5 feet 5 inches, weighing 203 pounds, David Henry. And his opponent, standing 5 feet 6 inches, weighing 185 pounds, Kris Dim. And we begin with the front relaxed pose. And why would we begin with anything else? I get David Henry in this one, even though I will say Dim's ab department is scoring ahead. But I don't think that's enough when you look at the mass department here. David Henry's definitely scoring ahead. Look at the lags on Henry. I think the lags will be an advantage in this whole contest. But anyway, let's head into the first pose. Here's the front double bicep. I'm going to lead towards Kris Dim in this one, even though Henry is definitely winning in the lag department. But have a look at the arms here, and it's plain to see that Kris Dim is actually scoring ahead. I think that, coupled with the abs, is definitely warrants a victory here in the front double bicep. But let's head into the side chest pose. I'm going to lead towards David Henry in this one. I think it goes without saying. He just looks much more massive. And if you'll notice the shoulders here, David Henry has a world-class set of delts. And he's fading him away in the lag department as well. But having said that, let's head into the front lat spread. This contest is really a back-and-forth battle. I'm going to just slightly lean towards Kris Dim in this one here, not a full victory, because just the lags here, without a doubt, head and shoulders going to David Henry. But I just really like the way he's displayed. Kris Dim is displayed in the front lat spread, and I think it warrants enough for just a slight victory. But having said that, let's get these two gentlemen to turn around and snap us each a rear double bicep. It's plain to see that David Henry has the advantage when it comes to back development. You'll notice his lats insert much, much lower than Kris Dim's. I'll give Kris Dim some credit here. His lats are perhaps a little bit wider. He's got a very wide lat spread. But I don't think that's enough to even come close to David Henry in this very impressive rear double bicep, rather. But anyway, let's head into the rear lat spread. This one here was a little bit more difficult for me to judge. My initial reaction was definitely to vote for Kris Dim and his width advantage. Just tremendous lat spread here. But as I looked at the detail of David Henry's lats, it's just tremendous. It's a very thick lat spread. He's like a miniature version of Phil Heath, with a very three-dimensional look. But having said that, I'm just going to lean slightly back to Kris Dim. I think the width is just enough to score him just a slight 1-point victory here in the rear lat spread. But having said that, let's get these two gentlemen to turn back around and display their most muscular pose. I'm going to go with Kris Dim on this one. I think he looks much more massive, actually, in this most muscular pose, despite his size disadvantage. Of course, you look at the legs, and it's, again, David Henry's all the way. But I think the chest here of Kris Dim is much more full and round. And just look at the arms here. They're just massive. But anyway, let's get these two gentlemen to display their ab and thigh pose. This victory is going to Kris Dim. And just as I suspected, this definitely superior ab development. Although Henry, with the much larger legs, I don't think he's displaying them quite enough here to get a victory in the ab and thigh. But having said that, Kris Dim's actually leading ahead by just a point here. And we're heading into the last pose. So if Henry is able to score a victory here in the side tricep pose, then we're going to have to search for another final pose. But thank goodness for me, Kris Dim's actually taking this, and just slightly, I might add. I think David Henry's in much better condition in this picture, actually, and he's scoring ahead by far in the delt department. But each time I look at this picture, all I see is Kris Dim's massive, and I mean massive, tricep. So I think that's enough to warrant a final and decisive victory here in the challenge round. So here's your winner, Kris Dim! Kris Dim will now await the challenge of another challenge round winner to do battle in the Gladiator round.